But this is not a leftist, ladies and gentlemen. This is former U.S. House Majority Leader, former Republican Congressman from Texas, and author of Revival, Revolution, Rebirth, a radical call from the former Majority Leader of the United States House of Representatives. Tom DeLay joins us. Congressman, welcome, my friend.
Well, thank you, Steve, and thank you for not calling me a leftist.
All right, so listen. So let's talk about, we could talk about all I just talked about, but the bottom line is we got a debate in a couple of hours. It's do or die time for Donald Trump. What does he do?
Well, I'm not much different than what people have been saying all day. I think he has to take in after Hillary Clinton. I think he has to hit her with everything that we got about being status quo, about being incompetent, about lying. Benghazi, he needs to really focus on Benghazi. And then he also needs, while he's doing all that, compare himself to her and how he'll bring about change. Because I think where we are right now, Steve, is most people don't particularly like either candidate. So they're looking for change. If you look at the polls, it shows that the United States is on the wrong track by 70%.
Yep.
He needs to appeal to that 70% and let them understand that he is the agent of change. Now, I'll just add one more thing. It would be really nice if he'd show a little humility, particularly when they come after him about his personal problems. If he shows a little humility, goes after Hillary, and shows he's the agent of change, I think he'll win.
What about the WikiLeaks that the media, hasn't really bothered to tell people about? So much in those emails, bashing Christianity, Catholicism specifically. Bill Richardson is a needy Latino, knocking Ben jealous. Her saying that blacks and other ethnic groups will never succeed, have never succeeded, no matter what their circumstance. I mean, all these things that the public doesn't even know is out there.
Well, exactly. And he's going to have to use the WikiLeaks to go after her and show them as examples of her incompetence, the fact that she hasn't accomplished anything when she had positions of responsibilities, and use those as the examples. That's what I was talking about. Go after her.
Right.
He's got to convince people that she's status quo, that she's not fit to be president, and hopefully they'll vote against her.
What about this nonsense? I mean, I've heard reports. It's the media that says it's all over, so that's where I understand it's coming from. They think she's going to win, traditionally red states, and they're talking about Texas. I mean, is there a snowball's chance in where that Hillary Clinton wins the state of Texas?
Well, they must have spent a lot of time in Colorado smoking something. I don't know. You cannot even describe Texas as that. Now, there are a lot of Texans that are upset with Donald Trump, but I think they're going to vote for him in the end.
All right. What about this? They're not going to shake hands. It's tradition, or it has been, I guess, the families shake hands, the spouses beforehand. They did it in the previous debate. But now, because of the report is the Clintons don't want Bill Clinton shaking hands with Melania Trump. Weigh in on that. And what about the fact that what do you think is served by Donald Trump bringing Barack Obama's half-brother from Kenya to the debate?
Well, first of all, people need to understand that if you have good manners, as Trump showed in the last debate, a man does not extend his hand to a woman until she extends her hand to him. And I think it was just good manners. She didn't want to shake his hand, so he didn't. So that's the one on the one side. I still can't figure out why they bring Obama's half-brother to the debate, other than maybe he called up and wanted to come. I don't know. I have no idea what signal that sends.
Let me ask you about the two Democratic operatives who had to step down after the videos emerged of them admitting on tape that they were involved in inciting violence at Trump rallies. This is, again, something the media has touched on, but I hope Donald Trump brings that up.
Well, I got to tell you, the media has been after Donald Trump for saying that the election is rigged and there's going to be voter fraud. There is voter fraud. You can't have been in this business one day and not have seen voter fraud all over this country, particularly in the inner cities, as Donald Trump says, in Oregon, It's just massive because they vote by computer. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So James O'Keefe, who's a friend of mine, is showing people what's really out there and what they're doing. They've got these hit squads. They're organizing. You remember, Organizing for America, or now Organizing for Action, is a volunteer organization that came out of the Obama campaign,
Right.
and it's millions of volunteers that can be used to try
Absolutely.
across states to vote in other states' elections.
Congressman, great talking to you. We'll see what happens. The book, folks, Revival, Revolution, Rebirth, a radical call from the former majority leader of the United States the United States House of Representatives. Thank you, Congressman. We're coming back with Michael Reagan. Don't go anywhere.